I am a big fan of the small model railroad, and I want to talk about three of the biggest benefits that I have come across with small model railroads versus the big guys today on Coffee and Trains. Welcome everybody to another edition of Coffee and Trains. Before we begin, I'm drinking Grounds and Hounds Rescue Roast, and as always, black with 2 sugars. So today I wanted to talk about small model railroads. A lot of people tend to gravitate towards looking at those big model railroads, and I really want to talk about, first of all, I want to bring up something completely unrelated. I'm actually recording this while a thunderstorm is going on outside, so if you hear the occasional boom, that's what it is. But back to small model railroads. The vast majority of us do have small model railroads. And what I consider to be a small model railroad is the square footage of a 4x8 sheet of plywood and smaller. So when you're talking about a small model railroad, you're really talking about small L-shaped layouts, small board layouts, switching layouts, shelf layouts, things like that go in small spaces. And I want to talk about some of the benefits of them. And I got 3 real big benefits that I want to talk about. So let's get started. The first really big benefit is going to be money, and this is kind of an obvious one where a small model railroad is going to cost less than a big model railroad to get up and running. And that's one of my favorite things about it. The bottom line is the more track you have, the more it's going to cost. So you're able to take your money and focus it on things like locomotives, like rolling stock, like the cool details and kits that you want to buy. And you have to spend less money on track and bench work and things like that. So small model railroads are a great way to save money in the hobby, and you'll be able to put your money towards the things that are really super fun. My next big benefit of small model railroads is they save you time. They take a lot less time to get up and running. A great example of this is that I had MRR1. I built that over about a span of a month to where it is today. And if I'm doing that same level of detail on a large model railroad, it could potentially take me years. I can't count how many different large model railroads I've seen in that nothing but plywood and track, that plywood Pacific stage as it's known, that have been that way for years and years and years, simply because it takes so long and it takes so much time to be able to get it up to snuff like that. So small model railroads can get you up and running, can let you get to the fun detailing of doing scenery and running trains and things like that a lot faster than the large model railroads. My third benefit of a small model railroad is something that you really have to think about when you're running this. A lot of us see these huge basement empires, and I'm not knocking any of these. I absolutely freaking love them. They are monuments to our hobby, but a lot of times these take 4, 5, 6, 10 people to operate some of the largest ones. And a lot of us are just going to be running trains and maybe doing a few operations. And the bottom line is a small model railroad is going to be a lot easier to handle if you're just running it by yourself. If you're doing a large model railroad, you're going to end up having to do something like a sequence operation, and you're going to be limited in what you can operate. And you may just end up running trains and things like that, which that's not a bad thing. But if you're looking to do more operations and you know you're going to be by yourself a lot more, consider a smaller model railroad. But if you also have the space for a big one, try to break it up into a series of small model railroads and things like that with connections. So small model railroads are definitely easier for the solo operator. So those are 3 reasons why I really like small model railroads and why they can be beneficial versus some of the larger ones. And I'm thinking about maybe doing a list like this for larger model railroads. So I want to hear what you guys think about small model railroads versus large model railroads. This isn't really a which one's better, but what are some of the benefits that you see with small model railroads? Leave those in the comments below, and also be sure to tell me what coffees you guys are drinking. Speaking of that, let's talk about some of the coffees that you guys are drinking. First of all, we're going to talk about Metra MP36407. He actually says today I'm drinking orange juice. Does that count as coffee? No, but it's fine. Boulder Creek Yard is drinking Don Francisco vanilla with a little bit of cream. I do love Don Francisco. Bartholomew Sorrentino says that he is drinking Cafe du Monde coffee and chicory, and he drinks it black. I drink mine black, but with 2 sugars. You're a bit better than me in terms of coffeeness, I guess. So thank you guys so much for watching. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. They are listed right here. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month, get a lot of behind the scenes, plus they kind of know what's coming up in the future for the channel because I talk to them the most about it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Jimmy from the DIY and Digital. Stay safe, be kind, drink some coffee, and happy railroading.